Leslie sighed as we pulled up to Brickyard Slough. She was starting to get punchy. I think she could have used a stiff drink or two, or maybe 6. Cause over on the banks where we were headed, it looked like a country boy gang, and painted on their airboat was the motto, "It's a southern thing," complete with airbrush picture of a pit bull tearing up a wild boar, and 2 Confederate rebel flags in case you couldn't see one. These boys were equipped with camouflage gear, walkie-talkies, cell phones, rifles and dip, looking to have themselves a little fun. So I jumped off the boat and past Leslie and the camera crew. "I'll interview these boys," I said. "It's something I can finally do." I approached these large bodies of men with the heads of 3 boys. They were quieter than I expected, only their airboat made any noise. And the biggest one of all seemed to be a spokesman for all 3. I said, "Hi guys, I'm Jen." He spit a mouthful of dip, said, "Ma'am, I'm Tracy. And there's Jose, and the one over there, we call him Pee-wee." So I asked him what they were doing. Tracy said, "I like to live a simple life. Living near Orlando, ain't got no kids and no wife yet. But I've been coming around here since I was a youngin'. My daddy took me by his side, and now I hunt with these boys and deliver the meat to old people, and families ain't got nothing but pride. Sometimes I meet folks up here, ain't never been on an airboat ride, so I take them for a ride." Brickyard Slough, and Brickyard Sloughs will get you MGD and tobacco to chew. Tracy and the boys are waiting for you. I said, "Tracy, you know, I hate to trouble you, but if you and the boys don't have anything to do, I'd like to go out on this airboat ride, cause I've never been, and maybe we'll have a time and end up the best of friends." He said, "I reckon I can do that. You boys stay here while I give this little lady a ride or 2. And he lifted me up on the front. He was behind me, started up the motor as loud as anything could be, and we jetted out across just inches of water. Out there it was just Tracy, gators, his airboat, and me in Brickyard Slough, alone. And I thought we'd just do a short drive-by, maybe spray the writer Bill Belleville and the camera crew, but Tracy had a yen to take me on a long ride far from the rest. My heart started to pound, and in 6 inches of gator-infested water in the middle of nowhere, I wondered how I'd escape if he decided to turn this Yankee-born girl into gator bait, or something worse. And he suddenly cut the motor, and I heard him unzip his pants, and my worst fears were realized. I began to hear deliverance, and he said, "Ma'am, I hope you'll excuse me, but I do believe I'm obliged to stop here and take a pee. This will only take a minute, ma'am." And it did. But a southern gentleman he was to the very end, and stopping on the way back to pick me a hyacinth, he said, "So any of them fellers up there your husband or boyfriend?" "Yes, they all are," I replied, putting that subject to an end. So the ride back was in silence, but I entertained the thought that as a boyfriend he'd probably be nice. The fringe benefits alone, airboat rides, and all the venison you can eat for life. But my reverie was broken with the thought of the 7 or 8 kids I'd have to have in my remaining childbearing years, with names like Luther, Junior, Tiny, and Mabel, all fighting for their turn to set the supper table. Every night they'd wait from shortest to tallest with me all by the door in the line for Pa to return from hunting at supper time. And that would be a reach, you know, I have to admit. And he wouldn't be happy either, cause I don't know a ham hock from a bowl of grits. So I bid them farewell on the shores of Brickyard Slough. He spit his dip, tipped his hat, and said, "Darling, I do believe we might shoot something for you. We'll come back and show you if we do." No one had ever said that to me before. Brickyard Slough, and Brickyard Sloughs will bring you MGD and a bag o' to chew, cause tent in front of the game warden and said, "Girls, we done brought you back a yearling." And the moral of the story is never judge a book by its cover, 'cause it turned out these boys were pretty avid nature lovers. Yes, their airboats were loud and they hunt stuff, but they live by the law. They don't waste, they share what they have and maintain a healthy awe of the environment around us, its majesty and tranquility. And they may have a different way of showing it than a tree hugger or maybe you or me, but they know these parts well, and I have no doubt some years from now, from what I can tell, these boys will take the junior Tracy, Jose, and Pee-wees, and they'll hunt and fish and every now and then stop together to take a father and son pee. But they'll truly love and care for this place, more importantly. And this world will keep on turning around Brickyard Slough. This incredibly timeless place, it's here for them and for us and all members of the human